Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so excited to have you here. We are just going to go ahead and dive straight into your reading. I like to begin my readings by thanking every one of you who has subscribed, who likes, who shares, who comments, who shares your insight in the comments of these videos. I really am so deeply thankful for you. I am so touched by all of you. I do read your comments and I do really, really appreciate them. And so thank you. Really and truly thank you. To those of you who are new to the channel, welcome, welcome. I am very happy to have you here as well. We're going to dive right into your reading. Just keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's get started with the Rumi quote. All right, on the bottom of the deck, you have, "Hope is a wing. The stronger the wing, the higher the flight." Wow, I love that. And then you have, "Souls learn from other souls, not from books or lectures." That's interesting. When you think about the difference between a soul or a book or a lecture, like one is sort of reflective more, you know, in an animate way. Very interesting. I feel like I don't need to interpret the Rumi quotes for you because your interpretation is as good as mine, right? Here we go. We're going to dive right in. For Pisces, please, Spirit, for Pisces, what does Pisces need to know? We're using kind of a motley crew of cards today. It was what I was guided to. I'm like, how do these cards interact with each other? I'm not sure. But this deck is called Angels Among Us. And so let's see what insight it has to offer for Pisces today, please, Spirit. What do you have for Pisces? Okay, you're getting Archangel Zadkiel, Transmutation, Mercy, Violet Flame. Wow, and on the bottom of the deck, there are a lot of, they're not all archangels, just so you know. And then you're getting Archangel Raphael, Intuition, Health, Healing. Man, Pisces, what I'm getting from these two energies is sort of a transformative spiritual relationship here. I associate Archangel Raphael with the heart and the heart chakra, and there is a green background here on this card. And he has the caduceus on his chest, which is also on the Two of Cups card, right? And then with this other archangel, whose name I just feel like I'm not saying right, with the violet flame and that purple color of the crown chakra and the transmutation. It's weird because, let me see if I shuffled in. Yeah. It says, we learn from other souls, not from books or lectures. We learn so much in relationships. We learn so much when we're connecting with someone else, and we learn so much about ourselves in any kind of relationship, like how we handle things, how we rise to meet the occasion, what the interaction exposes to ourselves, about ourselves, where we get triggered, where we, find peace, where we find comfort, and those kind of things. And that exposure that we get in relationships does really help us to transform. We have to kind of be careful who we get in relationships with, right? Because they are going to transform us one way or another, right? And ultimately, hopefully, it's always for the best, or always for our highest and best good. But sometimes that can be a very convoluted road, right? Where we have to insist on it being so. But I'm just getting, the caduceus is here and it's talking about health and healing. So I feel like there's a healthy spiritual relationship connection coming in that I feel like it's a reflection of the transmutation that you have already done. The changing that you has already kind of taken place. Every time that something negative has happened and you've transmuted it into something healthy, this is a reflection of that. Let's see. I know I have the Intuit oracles, which just kind of have all kinds of just general cards in them. So let's see what happens here with this. Oh my gosh, yeah, you're getting transformation with the stork. You see how there's two storks on this card? You also have this letter. For some of you, it's like something is coming in, or this can be like maybe a past person even possibly reaching out. Man, Pisces. You guys are really, oh my gosh, this is so funny. I was just having a very in-depth conversation about a lion this morning with a friend. It was very funny. Anyway, and here's a lion. Wow, sorry, that was probably kind of loud. My tea is on the coaster right by the microphone. I feel like you're getting some kind of communication coming in. For me, whenever I see birds in a tarot card reading, it does sort of represent like messages are coming in, or there's some kind of communication or opportunity or offer coming your way, Pisces. And with the two birds here, and especially it being the stork and the albatross, these are, I think it's something really good that has the positive that has the potential. Yeah, positive. I mean, I was trying to say potential and positive came out. I honestly feel like this is something extremely positive that has the potential to really transform your life or your current situation. When you're loved right, in a supportive, respectful, reciprocal, trustworthy way, it becomes like a platform for you to almost like figure out what you're made of, figure out what you're capable of, because you have that loving support. And I am feeling that. I am feeling an energy of a lot of loving support here. So maybe some of you already are kind of experiencing that or have that in your life, or maybe it is someone really showing up or coming in that holds this potential type of connection with you. Pisces, with this bear and this lion and this raccoon, it's telling me this story, okay, of someone who, it's not that they just arrived in the place that they're at easily. It's not like it was just a clear path. A raccoon is someone who has to be pretty industrious and pretty creative and, just to survive, just to get fed, just to make it, and it's funny. I don't know. My cousin used to feed raccoons. She loved raccoons. And they knew her. They would come to her, and not that I recommend that. They carry rabies, and like, I'm not encouraging that, but like, they are surprisingly sort of, I don't know if I want to call it loving, but kind of loyal. I mean, of course they're going to go where they're getting fed, but I don't know. There's just this, I saw a different side of raccoons. I've never been able to look at a raccoon the same way. I used to get so upset with her because she would do it at my house too. She would like come visit and feed my raccoons. And I was like, girl, you're going to leave. And I don't want these raccoons. I have kids and dogs and like, but yeah, I don't know. She was like, no, raccoons are so good. Like, da da da, I'm not really sure what all that story is about, but they are curious and they are, unfortunately they will go through your trash can and whatever, but it's all, to feed themselves, to feed their babies, to like survive. And, things are not always easy. I mean, they operate in the dark, and I just feel this sense of someone who it's like they had to sort of feel their way through. They sort of had to grind it out. They sort of had to, just make the most of like whatever was presented of them. Maybe occasionally they found a nice person like my cousin to like help them out, whatever. Like they got a little bit of juice or a little bit of, okay, good things do happen and good people do exist and life doesn't always have to be such a struggle. But for the most part, It's just kind of like I'm feeling my way through the dark, and I have to figure out how to rise above these problems. I have to figure out how to get through this and like be mentally okay about it, physically okay about it, emotionally okay about it. You know what I mean? But all of those trials and tribulations really do lead to a kind of strength you can't really get otherwise, you know, where it's like, hey, look, I have survived in the dark. I have survived, you know, having to scavenge for food, and you know, as a scavenger, I've survived, you know, just, you know, trying to remain hopeful, trying to remain intact is like the word that I'm getting. And it's led to this uber compassionate, strong being with this lion energy of, you know, it says heart centered on there, and we associate lions with the zodiac sign of Leo, and Leos have the biggest hearts. It's something, I sometimes feel like this is a very little known fact. You know, we know they have the biggest egos. We always talk about Leos and their arrogance, and Leos and their this and their that and whatever, and they can definitely be that way for sure. But inside, deep inside, they have the biggest hearts. And I think a lot of what we see on the outside is an attempt to really protect that. But how I feel about it here in this card is that when you have to sort of fight your way through, and you have all of these sort of difficulties, or you have all of these challenges that you have to problem solve and work around and figure out how to get to the other side with, and how to be okay with, and how to heal from, and how to find the gift in it, and how to, you know, how to do all these things, you end up having a lot of times a lot of empathy and a lot of compassion for other people who are in scavenger mode when you make it to the other side of scavenger mode. You know, when you enter into a new cycle, you look back at the scavengers and you're like, oh man, I feel for you. I was there. I remember what that was like. And, you know, you have a lot of empathy and compassion for it. But there's also something that I feel like happens to your aura or your energy or your presence when you have that quiet, calm confidence of, bring it on, universe. I can deal with it. I've dealt with it all. I've overcome it all. I've been able to find the gift in some pretty shitty situations. Like, no matter what you throw at me, I trust myself to navigate it. I believe in myself. I know that I have, you know, the strength to get through anything. But yet inside remains this very heart-centered, empathetic, compassionate being. I have survived all these things, but I haven't let them completely shut me down. On the bottom of the deck, you have the bear, boss, CEO. And like, it's funny because both of my kids are having really big days, very separately in very separate universes, but they both have something huge happening in their lives today. And I am a mama bear, you know, I am a like, oh my God, I just love them. I want to protect them. I just want everything to always work out great for them. I have prayed double time, triple time, overtime, whatever, you know, for them and what they have going on in their lives. And this card comes out and it says mama bear on it, protective. I'm like, yeah, that's me, calling me out. But I feel in this energy of when you sort of graduate then from this lion to this bear energy, where it's like, the lion is sort of lazy. It's sort of like laying there. It sort of just is. It's like, yes, I am in a different cycle than the scavenger raccoon kind of energy, but I'm just laying here lazy. You know, if I need to get up and do something, I will, but for the most part, I'm going to do this. Where the bear, it feels like, is more like on the hunt. The bear is more like, okay, let me see what I can achieve and what I can do and what I can be in this new kind of energy, in this new, like, being powerful like I am now, you know, being one of the top on the food chain or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I have earned this place, you know, I have earned this spot, and like, I'm protective of the spot that I've earned because it wasn't easy to get here. And because whenever you're on top, there's always people trying to bring you down. But there's like just such a cool confidence about this bear that, like, you know, I'm not worried about that. You know, I know that it's there. I know that it exists, but like, I'm not playing into it. I'm not engaging with it. I know that it, you know, I have to invite it in for it to have any effect on me, and I'm not inviting it in. Like, I'm protective of my space. I'm protective of what I got going on. And this is like that phase in life where, you know, abundance really comes, where, you know, you've kind of made it, right? And it feels like that's where you're headed, Pisces, or that feels like that's sort of this next step where it's like, okay, I've learned all these lessons, I've integrated this stuff, and now I'm really putting it to work, I'm really putting it to practice. And here comes the opportunity, the prime opportunity. And honestly, I'm getting two different opportunities. Like, one may be in work and one may be in love, that are coming in, different offers, different communication, different opportunities. And it's like, Pisces, you're ready for this. You're really, really, really ready for this. And, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, these transformations actually happen sometimes without us really realizing it. I mean, it's always sort of easy to look back and be like, oh, wow, yeah, I'm not a scavenger anymore. Like, you know, look back on that phase or that stage. But, you know, it happens so gradually, like one step at a time. Every time we choose to grow from something, every time we choose to find the gift in something, every time we, you know, start applying what we've learned, when the trigger comes up, we handle it differently. We make different choices. We make different decisions. You know, little by little, everything starts to change. And little by little, our place in the world and our positioning, us with us, and our positioning in relationships and who we're calling in to be in a relationship with us, it all is changing. You know, it's all elevating. It's all, we're moving up that kind of like that food chain sort of thought. So I feel like you have these opportunities that you're kind of uniquely prepared for because of all the work or the groundwork that you've already done. So this can be that, you know, maybe you've had a lot of relationships that haven't worked out, and in comes a really good opportunity to have a relationship that does work. And you're in a good position for it because you have already learned so much about relationships. Maybe it's like that at work. Man, you guys are getting, oh, that says envious. Lord, I thought that said curious. Sometimes cursive is hard to write. We don't really use it all that much. I mean, hard to read. Gosh, you guys, the words, they're not coming out right. I have grounded and centered, you all. Wow. You got, whatever this phase is in life, right? This is a phase that's going to last for a while. If this is a relationship, it's something that I feel like is going to be with you for a while, a long time. If it's a job, if it's whatever it is, it's like whatever this thing is, it's going to be with you for a while. Yeah, look at this. You have community. You have empathy overload with that lion energy. You have, oh my gosh, more to come. And you have on the horizon. Guys, yeah. Oh, wow. You even legitimately have new career path on the bottom of the deck. So for some of you, that's definitely, I very strongly felt career path and love. But, you know, again, with the bear card, I really got, you know, when you're at the top, there's always people that are trying to bring you down. And with this envious card here, it is sort of like really highlighting again that type of energy of just like, you know, you can't just be like, oh, I made it, you know, whatever. You have to realize and recognize. And also, you know, when you're not in competition with other people because you're securing your spot, a lot of times, sometimes you'll forget that that doesn't mean other people aren't in competition with you. And just because you're not engaging in it doesn't mean, or like actively in some kind of like tug of war type competition, doesn't mean that it's not there. You know, because that's tricky narcissist kind of personality trait stuff is, you know, I'm going to worm my way in. I'm going to figure out what makes you tick. I'm going to get you to tell me things about yourself, or I'm going to get you to open up to me, or I'm going to get you to give me an opportunity, and then I'm going to use it against you to try to bring you down, so that I can elevate to the spot that you have, because that's the spot I want, you know? But the thing is, I really feel that this is like, it's just a fact of life more so than this is really going to affect you or is affecting you. It's kind of like, I really feel like you earned your way to this bare spot. So it's like, you're kind of aware of it. You may not think about it all the time, or you may not focus on it, because it's just not your reality and it's not who you are, and you don't want what you think about, you bring about. So like, you may just be like, you know, I know it's a fact of life. I know it exists. I'm aware of it. I can see it when it happens. You know, I'm not naive about it. I'm not paying attention, or I'm not turning my back on that thought or that idea or whatever, but like, I'm also not living my life for it, and I'm not engaging in it. You know, when people show you who they are, because they will, they'll stop talking to you abruptly and act like you know, did some kind of something offensive or whatever. It's like, if you just ignore it, if you just don't engage in it, you know how everybody's mom told them, just ignore the bullies, you know? Which is much easier said than done, and everybody knows that it's much easier said than done. But truthfully, if you ignore it, you can't engage in it, you can't resist it, you can't talk them out of their position, you can't, you know, there's really no other way to handle it better. And so that's what we're left with. But I feel like you do have these opportunities coming in right now, and it feels like you have more opportunities coming in on the horizon. You do have this community with the long haul kind of energy. And I feel like this is like calling in a soul tribe, or this is like, you will have, I got this energy of support. There will be people that are kind along the way, that are going to be supportive, that you can trust. And this could even be a particular relationship or a particular person. With empathy overload here, you know, what I'm getting from this, and honestly, you know, not to bring it up again, but I know with recent events in politics in the United States, you know, it has been really, really hard for people who have a lot of empathy, who are just can't prevent themselves from going down the path of what this means for marginalized people. And just how bad it makes their heart hurt, and how overloading that is. And, you know, Pisces, you are a very empathetic sign, and you do really seek to understand where other people are coming from for the most part. Obviously, you know, there are exceptions to every rule, and we are not just a sun sign, we are a birth chart. But with this lion, you know, inside beats that big giant heart, and we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our energy, and we can't ever lose sight of that. And it's easy to lose sight of it. You know, my friend who is a you know, a known psychic, I was like, we talk about this a lot because she is very empathic, as am I, and she's always telling me that I sometimes could probably benefit from protecting my energy more. And I have installed a lot of things in my life to help me protect my energy more, and it does help. It does work. It is something that I have experienced a lot of relief from. But you know, she is always talking about, like, before you go out, imagine the white light of protection around yourself, and ask for protection from the angels, like just going, you know, to the grocery store. I don't always remember to do that, but it is part of my daily routine. So like, I just ask, like, throughout the day, can you? But I'm not as like into it as she is, you know, but I think she's more sensitive, I think, than I am. But you know, who knows? Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you about this is, you got to protect your energy. And even though you have a big heart, and even though you want to see things from other people's points of view and stuff, sometimes just being the leader, just being the example, just living your life to the best of your ability, like showing people the way, how to handle these things when they come up, the ignore the bully kind of stuff, helps. and even, if they come to you or they ask you, or what, like, how do you deal with it? My husband works for a very big company, and people will ask him, like, how do you deal with the BS, because he's been there like a really, really, really long time. And he'll say, you act like everywhere doesn't have BS. You act like this is something unique into this one space, and it's not. It exists everywhere. It's what kind of thing is it, but like, that's just part of it. And I think sometimes, all the times that you really have the opportunity to realize that, right, that no matter where you go, you can't really escape it. And honestly, there's also been a lot of talk about sometimes we don't need to be bright side about hard things, but at the same time, I always tell my kids this, when they were growing up and they came across friends that had, narcissistic personality traits. I'm just going to generalize it by saying that. I would say to them, well, thank goodness you're getting the opportunity to learn how to navigate that space here and now, when it feels like it matters a lot right now, but it's going to matter a lot more when you're in a workplace and your paycheck depends on you being able to navigate this space. Like, this is just you having the opportunity to practice, your technique dealing with this, and to gain understanding about this challenge that is going to exist regardless, everywhere, in every environment. So this is your opportunity to see it firsthand and to kind of employ your desired method of figuring out how to deal with it, and making those choices and learning what the repercussions are for those choices, where the stakes in the game are kind of low. I mean, it always feels like the stakes of the game are really high, right? When your ability to connect with other people always feels like it's at risk, but it's kind of like the raccoon. It's like, the more times you have to problem solve something, the more you can look at a problem and solve it, so there's never probably a great time, but as we age, the stakes only get higher and higher and higher. So the earlier you learn lessons, honestly, the longer it benefits you. The more time you have with the benefit of that knowledge, and the practice you get integrating it, so that you become less and less reactionary, and you get less and less overloaded empathetically. You have to be able to recognize what you can do something about and what you can't. And you have to be able, otherwise you're going to just drain yourself trying to take care of everything, trying to plug all the holes in the ship. And right now it's just not possible to plug all the holes in the ship. Right now we got to be the change we want to see in the world. We got to be the strength, our strongest self. All right, so guys, you have some things coming in, and I feel like Spirit is definitely saying you are qualified for this. You are ready for this. You have earned your way to this positioning, and you have what it takes, Pisces. So let's see what this is about for Pisces. Okay. So you're getting 2 twos off the bat. The 2 of Cups and the 2 of Swords. Oh, wow, with the Queen of Cups. For me, this feels like, do I decide to move forward in a relationship or in a connection? The 2 of Swords is a really, it's a Libra energy. And I really connect with this energy. Sometimes, how, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, whenever you guys were getting that pause and reflect kind of energy. This is kind of that pause and reflect kind of energy. And especially, it's funny because I'm feeling such a unique connection of this sword card to Piscean energy, because like I tell you guys all the time, and I always keep this in mind when I'm in your readings or in your energy, you are a mutable water sign. And as strong as you are, in who you are, your true nature is to sort of take on what is sort of around you, or, you know, you're very changeable, you're very flexible. Like in the room, you may be the most changeable, flexible person in it because you're mutable. You're willing to see other positioning in other ways. And sometimes that is actually to your detriment, right? Because sometimes the highest and best answer in the room, and this probably is the case more often than not, is yours. And when you kind of can sort of let other ideas in, it can affect you to where you start going, well, maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe that person has the point. And when I see this Two of Swords, I see this energy of, hold on a second. I'm not going to make a decision right now. I'm going to pause and reflect, but I'm not actually open to hearing or seeing or feeling anyone else's energy, thought, or input. I'm going within. I'm shutting myself down to the whole world, and I'm agreeing with myself to not make any kind of decision in this moment. I'm just going to go in and see how I feel. And in that way, for you, Pisces, this is a very empowered position. Normally, the Two of Swords, we don't consider that a super empowered energy, right? Because it denotes stagnancy. But here, with these two twos and the Queen of Cups, it is almost like this energy of tapping into sort of knowing who you are and how to sail your ship. You know, how I talk about Sidney Poitier in the book he wrote, The Measure of a Man, which I recommend for everyone to read, men and women. I loved it. But it's an energy of, you know, I know that I can sometimes be influenced or get carried away with the energy in the room because I am able to sort of like just tap into it and sort of go with it. But maybe right now, these decisions that I'm making or these decisions that I'm facing are so important, or the space that I'm in my life, I need to protect with that mama bear protection energy. And so what I really need to do is make sure that the decisions that I'm making are really in alignment with me, with my true nature, with what I see, with what I feel. And I really need to prioritize my own opinion or my own advice, my own counsel, above anything else, above anyone else. And this may be in regards to a relationship. You know, we all have those relationships where, you know, our friends are like, oh my gosh, you're still in that relationship, or oh my gosh, you're still, you know, focused on that, or blah, blah, blah. And you know, sometimes that can make us feel shame. It can make us feel bad about it. But there's a reason why you feel that way. There's a reason why you're focused on that. And no one else, like, people can look at your life and make snap judgments, but no one else is you. And no one else really knows what's in your highest and best good, or what you're truly dealing with, or what you're truly feeling, like you do. And so nobody can really know what's best for you, what decision is best for you. And people are always very willing to share their opinion and their advice with you, but sometimes that's not what you need. Sometimes you need to seek the counsel of yourself. And I see this in a very powerful, beautiful way with the Two of Swords here and the Queen of Cups and the Two of Cups. Maybe this is even like you're getting some kind of job opportunity, but it's going to take you away from a relationship that feels kind of important. Or, or maybe you're on a career path, but you are finding yourself falling for someone at work, and you have a company policy that you're not allowed to fraternize with your coworkers, you know? And so it may lead you to a place where you have to make a different decision, and you really need to like consult yourself instead of just being like listening to your best friend who's like, oh, heck yeah, I'd choose over my career any day. Or, oh my gosh, no, I would never let some, person get me off the track of my career path. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that works for them, and maybe that's where they are in their life on purpose, but maybe that's not you, and maybe that's not what's meant for you. So it feels like really important to just kind of have this space where you're not looking for any advice outside, or, you know, and sometimes we have friends that just offer us their advice, or we have parents or brothers or sisters or whatever who just are always think they always know best. And they're very confident that they have some real good understanding of life, that like, but I always tell myself, nobody knows what is best for me the way that I know what's best for me. You know, and I would rather live and die by my own sword than by somebody else's. What happens when we listen to someone else's advice and we take it and we do what they say, we learn the karmic lesson that they need to learn, not the one we need to learn. If we always make our own decisions in our life that are in alignment with ourselves, then we will only ever learn the lessons that are meant for us, and we won't have to take on board a bunch of other suffering that never really belonged to us anyway, that wasn't really part of our life path or part of our purpose anyway. So it's always best to just heed your own advice and listen to yourself. And even when it comes to tarot card readings, we can give you insight. We can tell you all the things that we know or that we've learned or that we see in the cards, right? But like, ultimately, you are the master of your ship, and knowing who you are and how to sail it and what's important to you, and tapping into how you feel and what you personally think and the decision that you personally want to make, it is your highest and best choice all the time, always. So you're looking to the future though, Pisces, with something here. How does this fit in? What is this about? I'm not sure. So let's get a clarifying card here on these. Wow. Wow. You definitely have some big decisions coming up here, and Spirit is definitely telling you, Pisces, go within, trust yourself, listen to yourself here. So the Two of Cups is being clarified by the Tower, so of course I have to clarify the Tower. But this is something unexpected. This may be something that's coming in out of the blue. It could also be a relationship that has fallen apart in the past that may be getting a new opportunity here. Let's see. Someone may be coming back around. I keep looking at this bear and I keep feeling it's like I'm protective of the spot that I've created here for myself now. I did not get here easily. It was hard work to get here, and I'm feeling protective. Like I don't want everything to fall apart again. Guys, there is a heavy emphasis here on staying empowered in your own energy and not taking on, like, anything you're going to almost take on from the external. Any information, any advice, anything, it feels like it generates conflict, it generates drama, it generates blockage. It's the opposite of what you need right now. This is like a time, Pisces, where you just like going within and really thinking about what you want in your life, how you want to see your life, and you know where you feel you're headed, and asking yourself, whatever this is that you're making a decision about. I feel like this is a relationship, but it can be a business relationship, it can be a personal relationship. It's you know, empowering yourself, knowing that you have all the tools to figure out this answer, and that even if there is some kind of difficulty, even if there is some kind of challenge, you do have the ability to, you know, to transmute it, to alchemize it. To alchemy means to take nothing and turn it into something, or take something and turn it into something else. So this could be a brand new situation, or this could be a situation that has had a few iterations or evolutions that, you know, maybe doesn't have a lot of support among your friend group or among your community. And, you know, it's up to you to make this decision for yourself. Do you want to spend the energy to transmute this? Do you want to take this from something that, you know, fell apart or came in and really caused a disruption in your life into something permanent? Do you want it to have a long haul space in your life? What do you even have space for it in your life? You know? Also, with the Two of Swords, the Two of Swords, sorry, being clarified by the Six of Pentacles, there is this energy of, I'm not making a decision until I see something in the material world that I need to see in order to make the decision. So it's kind of this opportunity, it feels like, for someone to prove themselves. And like, I hate sort of that term. Well, I hate the word hate also, but it's kind of like this energy of, it's sort of like giving someone some rope, giving someone some leeway, and saying, all right, let's see what you do with this. Let's see how you handle it. I'm reserving my right to make a major decision about this, or to say yes or to say no to this, until I see how serious you are. Like, are you showing up? Is this reciprocal? Is this going to be balanced, possibly, like this time, if this is a past person or a past situation coming back around, or if your experience has been to be in imbalanced relationships at work or in your private life, or in both. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to like give this the opportunity to show me how reciprocal this is, or how beneficial this is, or if it sort of deserves me, if it deserves my attention, and then I'll make my decision. It feels like a very patient, tempered kind of energy, of just like, I'm gonna wait and see. I'm not closing the door, but I'm also not making any kind of decision until I know what I'm really, really, truly dealing with physically in the material world with the Pentacles here. But I'm also not going to be influenced by the external, because all that's going to do is create conflict and confusion within me, and potentially drama, especially because there are people here who don't have your best interests at heart, Pisces, with this envious energy. Man, oh man, there's competition for something here. Okay. Possibly for you. Okay, you're seeing some kind of situation happening. I don't know if this is the case, right? But with the Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck, for some of you, you could be dealing with a third party situation. For others of you, how do I want to say this? Sometimes in our environment, there are people who are actually looking at us going, wow, they would be a good, like, I would like to get with that person. But like, they're in another relationship, or you're in another relationship, or whatever, right? And sometimes we don't really realize it. Sometimes they're our friends. Sometimes they're our coworkers. Sometimes, like, you just don't ever really know what other people are thinking, right? And I don't know why I'm giving this example, but so this may be the case for some of you. But it's like competition that you would not expect would be competition. It's like, dude, you have a girlfriend, or dude, you have a boyfriend. Like, why are you even entering into this equation right now? You know what I'm saying? It's like, or it's like, you're my boss. Like, that could never be that like, we couldn't ever really get together. Like, it's something where it can be, because I'm also getting, it could just be flat out overt also. Like, it could be flat out in your face, there's competition. But it's like, sometimes competition comes from really unexpected places where you're just like, what, really? And sometimes people's behavior starts to get like off track, where it's like, we've been cool for a long time. Like, we've been friends for a long time. And now all of a sudden you're giving me one word answers, and all of a sudden you like don't want to go hang out the way that we used to, and like whatever. And I just started talking to this person, and I could really use like a hangout sesh. Like, what is that about? Or it's even like, sometimes you have a friend that is the same sex that you don't realize is envious of the opportunities that you're getting. Like, maybe they're like, I don't get those opportunities, and you're getting those opportunities, and I hate to see it. You know, you think they're your friend, so they're not going to be that way, but you know, not everybody is like that. And with this envious card and this mama bear card, there's something here where, and especially with this 9 of Wands here and the Princess of Swords, this is like, keep your eyes open, Pisces, and watch for these things. Watch for changes in behavior, and understand a lot of the time that these behaviors are changing. I mean, you may have people just out and out with the 5 of Wands here like this twice. You may just have out and out competition, or out and out people that are just kind of hating on the situation, or hating on the fact that you got an opportunity, or whatever this is that's coming toward you. It's an opportunity, I feel. The thing is, this is like, with the 9 of Wands, it's telling me, like, don't necessarily go out and talk about what opportunities are coming your way, because you may be surprised that there may be people in your inner circle that actually don't want the best for you, or actually would sort of give you bad advice, or actually would sort of want to create even a conflict within you, put doubt in your mind. This is like, really keep shit to yourself right now, Pisces, and observe. And if you observe and you keep things to yourself, you're going to see things, I feel like, that may surprise you. Where, you know, it's like, it may even out people as being jealous of you, or having a crush on you, or, you know, like, just that surprise you. That you just didn't see. And, you know, I feel like you're in a situation here, Pisces, that you've worked really hard to get to, and you may not necessarily see it as where you really want to end up, but it's kind of a fabulous place. It's kind of the place where the things start coming in that take you to where you want to end up, with the long haul and the opportunities and all these things. And so it's like, you know, there's just sort of this sense that, like, maybe not everything is exactly the way that it seems. Maybe there are people in your environment who, you know, maybe you even sense a little bit that they're jealous, or that maybe they like you, but then you kind of brush it off like, but they have a girlfriend, or they're married, or, you know, whatever. This is like, yeah, I just feel like, I feel like things are going to get exposed here. But the thing is, I think it's like, keep it to yourself and let it be exposed to you in a way that, where you're watching it, where you're seeing it, where you're sort of distant and protected from it, rather than in the middle of it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, see, I got this very patient energy where you're tempering things, and here's temperance in the Knight of Pentacles, which keep coming out, and you have the 4 of Wands. This is a major relationship coming in, Pisces. And I'm just getting, some of you may have a jealous ex that's watching your social media. This is like, hey, don't be posting a picture of you and your person until you're ready to handle that potentiality with your ex, you know, figuring it out. I feel like, you know, also, when competition, or when other people really get involved in situations, it has a tendency to speed things up, because it's like, oh my gosh, you know, we're flirting, we're getting to know each other, we're on this really good trajectory, we're taking things slow, we're figuring this out, and then it's like, all of a sudden people figure out, and so people that wanted to make a play for your person or for you are suddenly like throwing themselves into the situation, or inserting themselves in the situation. And now it's like, oh my gosh, we have to I feel like I have to make this decision, or put a label on it, or put it on lockdown, because if I don't, then something could interfere in it, So it changes the pace. And this is why you have this 9 of Pentacles, this 9 of Wands here, of like, you want to stay out of it. You don't want to be in it. This can be going on all day long, all the time. But you want to be watching it and observing it, not letting it determine the pace of your life, of what is unfolding in your life. You want to be able to take things slow. You want to be able to let it come together as it wants to come together. Sometimes even people, like, how this is giving it to me is like, if people are suspicious of it, that's one thing, but it's not confirmed. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. But you want to, this is something that has long-term potential, Pisces. This is a relationship that has long-term potentials with the Four of Wands here. So you want to take this slow. You want to take it at your own pace. You want to take it at the pace that works for you and this person. You don't want that pace to be dictated to you by people that don't have your best interest at heart. This thing is for you. It's yours. It's something that you alchemized. It's something that you brought into your life. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Whew. Pisces, there's some kind of conversation that is coming in, some kind of information, offer, conversation that has the potential to lead to success and victory. I actually am feeling with this particular Ace of Swords that it's something that someone has been kind of waiting to say or waiting to talk about or waiting to have a conversation about. It's almost like, let's go as far as we can without having the conversation, just letting it grow, develop, unfurl its splendor. I don't know, these funny words are coming to me. But like, let's let it go as far as it can. And there is this very Nine of Cups, daydreamy, Piscean energy here of, we're kind of fantasizing about it. We're kind of wishing for it. We're getting to the place where, it's like, I really want this and you really want this, and, kind of a thing. Before we say, okay, let's face reality, let's get serious, let's team up here, let's make this official sort of energy. But it feels to me as though it's like, I feel like someone has kind of wanted to say this, or it's like, there's a coming clean kind of energy of like, I need to get this off my chest, and that's why I'm saying this. So it is going to come out no matter what. It's kind of like, you want it to be the way that you want it. You want the whole thing. You do. You want the best possible scenario here for yourself. And I feel like this is it. You're spending this time just having it to be a Pisces, having it to be just like the daydream of like, okay, well, if my best case scenario happened, it would look like this, it would feel like this. And it's the freaking Ten of Pentacles, and when you are letting something unfold in a slow sort of way, a little bit at a time, with the Temperance and the Knight of Pentacles, you're taking slow, steady, sure steps towards the Ten of Pentacles. You're letting something come together in a gradual, balanced, centered way. And you're putting the effort forward day in and day out. There's constant, consistent energy happening, being put there. And so as I'm seeing this unfold, it's showing me that, it's kind of like with the Two of Swords energy and the Six of Pentacles. It's like you left the door open and you were like, all right, I'll give you the opportunity. And I feel like someone's taking their best shot. I feel like someone's like, okay, I see that the door is open. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. And so this is what you were waiting for to make your decision. And so, yeah, protect the space. Let this happen. Let yourself have the opportunity to really see what someone is capable of, without putting any like external pressure on it. Man, you're getting the Ten of Pentacles twice. This is a long-term relationship you're building here. I feel like the foundation is getting laid. If this hasn't come into your life, fear not. This energy is out there, and this may be coming for you still. But yeah, you are getting the 10 of Pentacles clarified by the Magician. And, you know, this is, you have all the tools. Everything is in place for this to come together in this way, for this to have the potential to make it and to be something solid and stable and serious. And again, with that 9 of Cups, I keep getting like, this is your fantasy. This is your dream, having something solid and stable that you can rely on, that's real, that's equitable, that honors you, that respects you, that shows up for you day in and day out. And with the 4 of Pentacles, this is something that it's like you don't want to let go of. This is something that you have always wanted. And this is, you know, planting those cornerstones of a firm foundation. That's where you're at, or that's where this is headed. It's pretty impressive. Wow. Someone's going to put your mind at ease, Pisces. Someone's going to come in and bring a lot of clarity, a lot of happiness. And this does feel like a real healing relationship, a real healthy, happy relationship. I feel like someone's going to come in and speak their mind, and it's going to put aside any doubt that you had, any questions that you had, any confusion that you had. I see you laying it down and walking toward your happiness with the 5 of Swords here. And with that Prince of Swords on the bottom of the deck, it's like someone's coming in to speak their truth. Someone's coming in to take away any doubt and open up this opportunity for real extreme happiness with the Sun card. Let me just clarify this. Yeah, you're wondering, you know, can you trust the situation up there with the 2 of Swords and the 6 of Pentacles? You're like, are you here to just, you know, like be in and out, or are you here to stay? Wow, this person is putting your mind at ease. Absolutely, that's exactly what's happening. 5 of Swords to the 6 of Swords. This person is putting complete clarity in the situation. They're going to let their absolute intentions be known. With the 8 of Cups, it's like you're walking away from a phase in your life and you ain't never going back. You're headed directly to that 9 of Cups. You sure are. This is your wish fulfillment. This is, you know, you're letting go of this space of the 2 of Swords of like, you know, not knowing, not understanding. You're like, okay, whatever this person says to you, whatever this person proposes to you, whatever truth this person tells you, it makes it so crystal clear that you have no qualms walking away from life as it currently is for you and into this person's arms. Like that's literally, that sounds however it sounds, but that's exactly the energy I'm getting. All right, let me get you some messages. You're dealing with a water sign. I need to go my own way for a while. I'm just doing what I have to right now. I would, you know, okay, I'm not going to force you. Fine, do what you need. If you're dealing with a fire sign, even though I don't show it, I am sorry for how things went between us. And a lot of signs are pointing to you lately. Oh. If you are dealing with an earth sign, I feel a special bond with you that I've never felt before. And I just got sidetracked. And if you're dealing with an air sign, I care too much about what others think right now, and I'm sorry I held myself back with you. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you today. I really hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm sending you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye, guys.